Thank you. Konnichiwa. Konnichiwa means hello in English. First, thanks to all the Dublin engineer for inviting me. I have been living in Dublin for 1 month now, and I feel very comfortable. But Dublin weather is so terrible, I think. In fact, I'm giving this speech in English for the first time in my life. So I'm now very getting nervous, but I'll do my best. Today, I would like to talk about ECMAScript modules for Node.js. By the way, Node.js version 12 was released on 23rd April. Very good. And in addition, Node.js version 6 will be end of life on 30th April. This is very good news, I think. And first of all, let me introduce myself. I'm Yuta. Everyone call me Hiropi. Hiropi. I came to Dublin from Japan to study English. So I am a student now. And I'm living in Dublin until September. And then I'm going to go back to Japan. And currently, I'm a technical advisor at Mercari and working on improved Webpack as an OSS developer. Also, I'm a Node.js co-collaborator. This picture above is a famous shrine in Japan. Was taken from the article called Why 2019 is the best year to visit Japan. And have you ever been to Japan? Please raise your hand if you have been to Japan. Good. Thank you. If you come to Japan at this time of the year, you will see like this cherry blossoms like in this picture. Sorry, please let me introduce my company. Mercari is a C2C marketplace application that allows users to enjoy buying and selling. Office in Japan and the United States have more than 1,650 people work. Do you know Mercari? Thank you. Thanks. Mercari's mission is to create value in a global marketplace where anyone can buy and sell. And its focus on a global marketplace can be seen in the decision to expand overseas the year after its foundation. The company believes that succeeding in a marketplace as large and devices as the US is a key milestone in achieving its mission. Let's move on. This is today's agenda. I'm going to talk about ECMAScript modules. First, I'm going to introduce what ECMAScript modules are. Next, I'm going to talk about ECMAScript modules in Node.js. Finally, I'm going to give a summary of what I said in this slide. So from here on, I will refer to ECMAScript modules as ESM and common JS modules as CJS. First, JavaScript has many module systems. For example, AMD, UMD, and CJS. This specification is owned by Whatworking and TC39. So TC39 has ESM syntax and rules concerning JavaScript. For example, the default is strict mode and how to treat this, etc. However, module loading is owned by Whatworking because it is a difference between browsers and Node.js. On the other hand, dynamic import is JavaScript syntax, so TC39 manages it. Now, dynamic import is stage 3 of TC39. You can specify modules to type attribute in script tag to make it recognized as ESM. However, browsers that don't know type modules ignore this script tag. In other words, it is not executed. So you use the no modules attribute. Browsers that doesn't support ESM can ignore this attribute and execute it as a normal script tag because type attribute has not changed. And browsers that support ESM does not execute this script. So I think files into one using a bundler usually have this attribute. Browser compatibility. All browsers can use modules other than Internet Explorer. We might not need bundlers like Webpack in the future. However, it is still more efficient to bundle large code now. I think many people are already using ESM. ESM has import and export syntax, like this example. So I describe the features of ESM. Import and export can only be written at the top level. This makes it possible to detect error before execution. If you want to get modules as asynchronously, please use dynamic import, which is stage 3 of TC39. And since import statement is hoisting, it is declared at the beginning of the module, wherever it is written. So this is the same behavior as a function declaration. Also, top level this in the module becomes undefined, and the module which is written in ESM becomes strict mode. This is default. Let's look at Node.js ESM. Currently, the status of ESM is stability 1. Node.js has stability level. It has 3 phases. 0 is deprecated, 1 is experimental, and 2 is stable. Since stability 1 is experimental, it will be changed sometimes. Therefore, you shouldn't use it in production. And this goal is to release. Release is a drop experimental module flag by when Nodejs 12 starts LTS in October 2019. This is Nodejs core repository. This PR was submitted on 18th March to Nodejs core by Myris. We discussed the specification at Nodejs module. This is another repository. Then implement at Nodejs/ECMAScript modules which forked Nodejs core. And finally, backport to Nodejs core. Nodejs spent a long time implementing ESM. Because Nodejs has 2 major problems that browsers don't have. One is that Nodejs cannot recognize if a file is written in ESM. In the case of browsers, it can be recognized because it is written as module attribute in the module in the type attribute. However, Nodejs import doesn't have an attribute like type. So we decided to look at the extensions to be imported. We made a rule that a file with a .nodejs extension is written in ESM. And another issue is compatibility with existing CJS modules. Nodejs values backward compatibility. However, Nodejs already has a module system. It's very difficult to implement ESM so as not to break the existing code. And Nodejs defines a standard for implementation. First, spec compliance. We always follow the ECMAScript specification. Next, browser equivalence. A code that executes in both environments should produce identical result. Finally, don't break CommonJS. We cannot cause breaking changes with regard to CommonJS. So we keep these standards and implement ESM in Node.js. I would like to introduce some of ESM rules. ESM's path conform to what working URL. See the example, but very small, sorry. As you can see, import syntax accept URL object. URL object is global object. Access using a relative path and absolute path, a package name, and file protocol can be performed. But currently, protocol support only file. Invalid variables. You cannot use Node.js specific variables that were available until now, such as require, module, export, dir name, file name. These variables will become undefined when you write in ESM. To use these variables in ESM, you can use import.meta or create require from pass method to reproduce the same behavior. If you want to get the file path, you can use import.meta.url. This is an ESM specification and currently exists in stage 3 of TC39. If you want to use require syntax in ESM, you can use create require from pass method. By passing a base path as an argument, this function returns an executable require method based on passed argument. Next, explicit file names. CJS can omit .js, .node, .json extensions and the file name index. However, ESM doesn't have this specification. So we also make this CJS specification available in ESM by default. So we prepared ES module specifier resolution flag. This flag has explicit and node options, and the default is explicit. I think most of the existing code written in ESM has only the extension and index. Then please use node option. In the future, you will not be able to execute anything other than JavaScript. Now, CJS supports JSON and native modules written in C++, .node extension, but ESM doesn't. So you might use module.create require from path for these. However, Nodejs has experimental JSON modules flag to load JSON because there is working in progress for standardizing this feature with browsers. So now issue is submitted or what working HTML repositories. This example is written in CJS. CJS cannot load ESM from CJS. It is possible to call an ESM file using required syntax. On the other hand, if you use import syntax, you can call CJS files. However, only dynamic import can call ESM files from CJS. So, in conclusion, CJS cannot call ESM at the top level, but CJS can use dynamic import. Also, ESM can call CJS. So, let's explain how Nodejs distinguish ESM and CJS. I think many people have heard the word MJS in the past. Certainly, it is easy to distinguish by the extension. However, in the future, ESM will become the de facto standard. So we don't want to change the extension from .js to .mjs. It's not needed. Maybe probably this is something that many people wanted. So we looked for another solution. There is a way to specify the module type to package JSON. This is a new solution. This solution is already in the core of Node.js and probably will not be changed. This solution is very simple. Each file's module type depends on the closest parent package JSON. See this picture. Package JSON on the root.js has type modules. So root.js will be read as ESM. And index.js in ESM directory doesn't have package JSON in the same hierarchy. So index.js depends on package JSON in the root hierarchy. Therefore, this file is also read as ESM. And finally, let's look at the index.js in CJS. Package JSON exists in the same hierarchy but doesn't have type attribute. So index.js is read as CJS. So refer to the closest parent package JSON. You can specify the type attribute in package JSON. This attribute has common.js and module, and the default is common.js. However, this key name might be changed. Let's check the code. The directory structure is same as the previous slide. Since ESM doesn't have a module variable, it is ESM if module is undefined. Look at the output result. At first, ESM/index.js is called and output as ESM. This file depends on package JSON of the root of the root directory. Next, ESM/CJS/index.js is called and output as CJS. This file depends on package JSON, which exists in the same hierarchy, and this package JSON doesn't have a type attribute. Finally, root.js output as ESM because package JSON in the same hierarchy has type module. If package.json in the root directory doesn't have type module, this file cannot be cannot be executed because it is executed as CJS. It cannot interpret import syntax. If you don't want to follow this rule for specific files, you specify the extension. You can use .mjs and .cjs extensions. If you want to read as ESM, use the mjs extension. On the other hand, if you want to read as CJS, use the CJS extension. Currently, this is an ongoing task. Dual CommonJS ESM module packages. Easier require package path maps, automatic entry point module type detection. These tasks will be improved before the experimental module flag is removed. This is today's summary. A file becomes ESM when package.json was type module. A file's module depends on the closest parent package.json. At the top level, CJS cannot call ESM. Some variables used in CJS cannot be used in ESM. The goal is to drop a flag by when Nodejs 12 starts LTS in October 2019. Please look forward to future Node.js. These are the references used to make this slide. And thank you for your kind attention.